tripod trouble. If I look like I'm crooked, it's because my tripod's broke. It shut off because that was the end of my memory. That's hilarious. Well, that's okay. Because what I wanted to do was do this. Thank you for the like. Appreciate you stopping by. Welcome, I'm glad you're here. Welcome, Blue Rose. Glad you're here. Blue Boy, yeah, that name rings a bell. From way back, huh? Oh, thank you so much. I'm really not. I'm a fake piano player. Your ears are just broken, but I like the way your ears are broken in the right direction. How's the audio? Is it coming through nicely? It sound like a 20-piece orchestra? I'm sorry, I'm not a singer. Yeah, I have been. I just went last week, and yeah, this is my new apartment. If you've been out of the loop for a while, I finally got me a nice apartment in a different part of town. But I built a little cart. Check this out. Here, I'll show you if you want to see it. So, I'm disabled. I lost my driver's license for this eye disease. And I built this little cart, this little 3-wheel cart here. And my kayak sits on the top real nicely. And I glued these straps in real good. And I can strap my kayak down real tight to it. And then when I get to the water, I flip it upside down and it floats. And so I can pull it behind my kayak. It's pretty lightweight. And I'll paddle for a couple of miles away from the parking lot and stash it into the woods. And so I did that last week. I put up a bunch of videos. Go check out my shorts. There's a bunch of them where I did a bunch of little shorts of me walking down the trail with my, with my little setup there. And yeah, it's pretty cool. It worked out pretty nicely. My tripod is broken. I'm still working with the same one that was broken the last time you came around. All right. So how have you been? Anything new? What's good? What's the blessings? Other than it's Easter on Sunday, and that's a blessing. Yeah, it works pretty good. Go check out my shorts, and you can see it floating on the water and rolling. It rolls real smooth down the sidewalks and the trails. And oh heck yeah, it's gonna be a little raining here in the Midwest. But A storm just kind of passed through here just a little bit ago, and I've been live streaming a bunch, trying to get my subscriber count up, playing around, doing a bunch of stained glass. And so I'm just hanging out, messing around on the keyboard. I just got done recording a bunch of like rock and roll music. You know, my old shorts. I used to do a bunch of rock and roll songs in 30-second shorts. So I just recorded a bunch, and I thought before I shut it down, I'd go live and do a little riffing. And so we're going to switch back to the piano before I move on. That was a little sour. I'd say about 4 or 5 years. I picked it up as a retirement hobby, to be real honest with you. I used to play the harmonica, and I had all my teeth pulled. I had some really bad problems with my mouth. Everybody thinks I was on meth. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. So when I had all my teeth problems and infections and stuff, I really had to take a serious, honest look at whether I wanted to continue to play harmonica and put that old piece of metal. You can never get them clean. And then once you do sanitize them, they never sound the same. So I threw my harmonicas away, and I went down to the music store, and I thought, well, I'm just going to buy me a piano, and I'm just... And so I'm like, amateur typewriter, feel like, compared to some other piano players that I see. But I have a good time. I don't know nothing about music theory or nothing, none of that. I know what sounds good to my ringing ears. Now, I did I did play the saxophone in school way back a long time ago. Whoop. I'm all thumbs apparently right now. Oh no, that sucks. My sister played a flute, and I always remember her by that. I wrote a piece of music called She Played a Silver Flute. If you go through my old videos, you look for what is it? Little pixie Tinkerbell sitting on a mushroom in the woods, uh, and she's playing a little silver flute. Is a little song that I wrote there. I love that. You should go invest in one. Treat yourself to one. I've got a friend who he's a real hardcore man's man. Wouldn't be caught dead doing anything silly, and wouldn't have a scrap of lace in his, that kind of real just man's man, tattooed, and lives a rough life. And he plays a Native American flute, but he don't let nobody know. He goes out in the woods and hikes for a couple miles till he's damn sure that ain't nobody gonna come around and see, because he feels like a sissy when he plays his flute. But he loves it, and he'll hike several miles just to make sure. He don't care if people hear flute music in the woods. He just hiked far enough to make sure nobody hears him or nobody sees him. I mean, so yeah. Excellent. Thank you, Blue Rose. It was really good to see you. Long time no see. Have a great Easter weekend. Golden, how are you? Welcome back. I'm just messing around. I would, Friday night, messing around, payday. Uh, I've been live streaming on and off all day with the stained glass stuff. And oops, hold on 1 second. We're going to switch over to some strings. So yeah, I'm getting ready to start being a little bit quieter. It's 9 o'clock and new apart. I try not to make too much noise too late, but it is Friday night, and I don't even know how loud I am. So yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I finally, it's payday. I spent too much money building that rolling cart to take my kayak to the lake. So I was out of cigarettes. I was out of coffee. I was out of sugar. Hell, I didn't even have a TV dinner. I was down to my last can of beans. So I've been eating a bunch of food and smoking a bunch of real cigarettes and hanging out and enjoying, getting ready to make me some late night dinner. But I thought I'd try a little orchestra with some strings to help maybe wind me down a little bit. Pretty wound up today. I know, right? I did. That cart that I made, I spent $60 to build that, and the ones at the store were $100, and they only had two wheels, so you still have to carry the weight of everything. And so I wanted three wheels. So I did. I spent $60 on my budget. And then how I really blew my budget, Golden Side. Oh, thank you. How I really blew my budget was after I got back from the lake. I was so hungry. And I live right across the street from a Raising Cane's Chicken and one of my favorite chicken places to eat at. And I was like, damn the torpedoes. I wouldn't spend my last 15 bucks over at Kane's Chicken. And then I suffered for a week. Sacrifices, huh? The answer to that question, Golden Sai, is everything can be worked out at retirement bottom basement prices, but this one in particular that I'm working on now is for my niece. It's her birthday present. But I have a pretty good inventory of glass and supplies, and we can, within reason, make just about anything. It's a picture. The whole thing about projects and amateur artwork and writers, people always complain. Anybody that's telling you they got like writer's block or artistic block, in my opinion, is not a real artist, because the very existence and state and nature of being an artist is, it's like a complex attachment to a different kind of attention span. It owns you in a way. So there's never like, there's always another project to do. There's always something to make. And you hear people that sit around and, oh, I got writer's block. Well, maybe it's because your story sucks. Yeah, I mean, and it is, people that fight with mental illness and stuff, they can struggle with that stuff when it comes in spurts. But whether I'm physically actively doing anything or not, I still have that. I told a lady one time, they, when you go to the doctors and the psychologists and stuff, and they ask you, do you ever hear voices? And I look at them, and I told her, I said, well, really, what you should be asking me is, have you ever heard silence? Right? They're asking the wrong question. And so I explained this to her, how I've weaponized my imagination to drown out my mental illness. So there's always an orchestra in my head, because I'm just such a movie kid. And so now I have classical movie music stuck in my head. And so I put that on play. And that's, there's a lot of different mental tricks that you use to ride that wave, because I don't take medications. I just live my life. And so to me, there's no such thing as writer's block. You need a better story, or maybe you're not meant to be a writer, because a real artist, it's inside you. You always have this drive. You wake up in the morning, you don't want to waste the day. You want to do something with it. You want to make something out of it. Whether it ends up in a project or not, it's kind of irrelevant. The point is as an artist, you want to pour your spirit into your life, and it's like an unavoidable thing. uh People that are just trying to create crap and put it out in the world to make money off of, yeah, they're going to be struggling and stuck with that, because they don't have that natural flow within them already. And you can find it, you can buy it, you can obtain it, you can mimic it, but the only true depth and reality and existence of it is, in my opinion, it's a worship type situation, where deep down inside yourself is where you connect with God. I don't think God's in you. I think that's where the telephone is, though. So I'll be on the line. Right on. I made some cool three-dimensional American flags. I've got the red and blue and white glass to do that. It's just that I did it really small, and so I did a 13 stars with the Betsy Ross stars, and it was so difficult that I ended up painting them on. And so, depending on the level of detail that you're talking about, pretty much anything can be worked with. And people will give me, like a tattoo artist will give you a picture, and I'll take it home and put my little spin on it and add a creative touch to it and give it, I'll add some stuff in as a stained glass artist to give it that classical stained glass feeling. The same way if you give a picture to a tattoo artist, he's going to give it that tattoo kind of look. And if you give your picture to Bob Ross, he's going to put a happy tree in it. So, everybody got their own style. Yeah, I would love to make something for you. Anything can be shipped. I've shipped plenty of stuff before. Uh, when I've worked for Stained Glass Studios, it, it's not about whether UPS or FedEx or the mail or any of them are worth a shit. The whole thing is, you may put $100 worth of metal together, and suddenly you can put it into insurance as an $800 window because it has value now as a piece of art. So you insure everything, and they bubble wrap the crap out of everything. And I've shipped a lot of stuff. Um, Depending on how far and how expensive, my suggestion would be to keep things at a moderately small size to keep the shipping cost because it will be heavy. I mean, stained glass window, and if you want framing, and it can get pretty weighty. So, all right, on. What do you paint? What do you paint with? You doing watercolors, oils, pastels? What's up? Whoa. All right. Did you know there's also a guitar hidden inside this thing? And in fact, there's several guitars. Check this out. Oh, nice. I like to I I like to take when I get little pieces of scraps of glass like nice blues or any kind of reds or oranges that look like it could be a sunset. I like to take like red glass and paint silhouette stuff on them, or I like to take blue glass and paint little water and river scenes and shorelines and wildflowers on them. I like to do all that. I don't do it as much. Um, I kind of started doing that just as a way to use small pieces of scrap glass and make. I just thought I'd try it one day, but uh, on glass here these days, I'm just use a Sharpie magic marker, and once it dries and sets up, it'll stay forever. I mean, you could wet it, and you'd have to really rub it really hard after it sets up. But as long as you're not like wiping them clean with a wet scrub cloth, they'll last forever. There's one up here. A little. Here's a little. That's just green magic marker and a few dots of acrylic paint on glass. And then here's another one. Just little miniatures using some blue glass and then painting stuff on it. And then like I said, I like to do silhouette. That's cut out glass that I painted, and then I cut all those little pieces of grass out. But I like to do that with red glass when I come across it. And then of course everybody's seen this. See my piano. Alright, anyways. Well, everybody, Golden Sai and whoever else is here, thank you so much for stopping by. I've been live streaming on and off all day. Thank you for leaving a like. Tell all your friends. Tell them you know a crazy toothless guy that does all kinds of weird stuff, and you never know what I'm going to see, say, or do on my channel. So stick with me. And you guys have a happy, wonderful Easter. Many blessings and grace and peace be unto all you all in the name of the Father and in the name of the Son and in the name of the Holy Spirit. Have a beautiful Easter weekend.